Our next guest created and stars on the very funny British comedy series The Office. Its second season premieres October 12th on the BBC America cable network. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to Ricky Gervais.
It all started in 2001 when the pilot episode of the original The Office aired in BBC Two. The series was about David Brent, a regional manager who wanted to gain the favor of his employees with embarrassing results.
The question is, do you feel lucky, punk? Well, do ya? Clint Eastwood.
Spot on. Most of these jokes are made with British humor and in a British context, which is fundamental in order to get the jokes they are making. But this isn't the most well-known version of The Office. If you talk about The Office, it is assumed you're talking about the US version. Not only it is the most watched one, but also the one who has traveled all around the world through caps, gifts, t-shirts and cosplays.
Beaver asked the question.
What the hell was that?
Since it is a mockumentary, many of its comedic situations come from him being unintentionally racist, sexist, and overall culturally insensitive.
How are you?
I just had the longest meeting.
Oh, welcome to my convenience store.
When Steve Carell and the group of writers started to adapt the British version to the American market in 2005, they tried it to be in many ways similar to its predecessor. But season 1 was not in any way successful.
Oh, come on, that's horrible. Oh.
So the writers sat down and thought what should they change to make it more likable for the American public. The main problem they encountered was that the public was not sympathizing with Michael Scott.
Yeah, there's good things about Michael. He's
They decided to soften him. They shifted from a cruel, unlikable boss into a needy, immature, yet well-intentioned boss. This change marked the show and left it on a path towards what it is nowadays, one of the most loved, well-rated, acclaimed by the critics TV show. It reached 8 to 9 million viewers per episode during some seasons. It was the most streamed show on Netflix from 2018 to 2020, 5 years after its end, won 5 Emmys and became a pop icon throughout the world. Just as in the British version, many jokes needed a deep comprehension of the local culture and history. Non-Americans probably won't get an O.J. Simpson joke. This is not only a problem for The Office, but for the genre of comedy in general. Jokes that are based on linguistics or local culture significance are not easy to translate and sell on other countries who use other languages. This opens a space for production companies all around the world. We could do The Office format, but using references linked from our culture and language. One key element that explains the global success of The Office is that it's not just a series, but a format. And it is cheap to produce, cheap to edit, and has no special effects. In the audiovisual industry, formats are narrative structures that can be exported and adapted locally, maintaining a recognizable identity while allowing cultural flexibility.
A good idea is a good idea forever.
This is precisely what makes The Office so effective. Its premise is universal, a group of ordinary people sharing a workspace, dealing with hierarchy, boredom, ambition, and social awkwardness. Offices exist everywhere, and so do uncomfortable bosses, forced team-building activities, and silent rivalries. Because of this, the series operates as a global product, global in structure but local in content. At the moment of this video, there are up to 14 adaptations of the format The Office.
You're English, correct?
Yeah, big time, yeah.
I'm working on an English character. Would you mind? It's called Reginald Poofda.
Oh, David Brent, my liege.
If we analyze different versions, we can see that the core elements that define The Office remain the same. Its filming style, its characters, and its humor. While the jokes are adapted to suit each local audience, the comedic tone stays consistent, relying on discomfort, cringe, and irony. Beyond these shared elements, The Office also reflects something deeper about the contemporary society through its format. Its mockumentary style creates a sense of realism that blurs the line between fiction and documentary, inviting the audience to become complicit observers, almost like co-workers in the office. In a global market where audiences increasingly demand authenticity, this style becomes a powerful narrative tool. It allows viewers to feel part of the story while immersing them in a cultural context, even if it's not their own. There are idiotic bosses, annoying coworkers, and office crushes all over the world. At the same time, the different adaptations reveal how each culture negotiates power, authority, and social norms. The boss character, David, Michael, Stromberg, and the others, is always inappropriate, but the limits of what is considered acceptable vary. What is seen as offensive in one country may be interpreted as absurd or even harmless in another. Certain versions take more freedom than others in this regard. For example, in the German version called Stromberg, named after the boss's surname, we see a humor that is more acid and darker. In the Indian version, the humor retains the characteristic awkwardness of The Office, but combines it with jokes about social classes and hierarchies with touches of absurdity and melodrama, typical of the local industry. The Office is a universal story, but also a mirror that can reflect cultural differences, and this makes it perfect. It's the perfect story and a product for the times we're living in. In this era of streaming platforms where content circulates faster than ever, successful formats become valuable intellectual property. Instead of exporting a finished product, companies increasingly export adaptable narratives that can be reproduced locally. This strategy reduces risk and increases audience connection, as viewers are more likely to engage with stories that feel culturally close while still being part of a global phenomenon. This makes us wonder, to what extent does this model encourage creativity, and to what extent does it standardize storytelling across cultures? Are we witnessing true diversity, or the replication of the same narrative under different cultural lenses? In the end, The Office is a balance between standardization and localization, between global markets expansion and cultural identity. And maybe that is why it continues to resonate worldwide. Because no matter where we are, The Office is never just a workplace. It is a universal stage where culture, power, and everyday life quietly unfold.